The men accused of plotting to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer discussed kidnapping someone else as well, the governor of Virginia, according to an FBI agent who testified in Michigan federal court today.
I will not work under a cloud of intimidation. That's not who I am. I was elected to serve the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that's what I plan to do.
According to investigators, the so-called Wolverine Watchmen were furious over coronavirus shutdowns. They first plotted to storm the Michigan Capitol, then settled on kidnapping Governor Whitmer at her lakeside vacation home. The group at one point discussed sending a shooter disguised as a pizza delivery man, according to today's testimony from an FBI agent.
It wasn't simply to kidnap, it was to put me on a trial of some sort and then possibly execute me. That's the kind of thing that you would expect to hear from a group like ISIS.
Infiltrated by FBI undercover agents, prosecutors say they have recorded evidence of the plan taking shape. Today, an attorney for one of the men dismissed the plot as big talk between crackpots. Another suggested the FBI entrapped his client, asking the agent, "One of the most active leaders was your informant who was pushing them to do things criminal?" The agent responding, "He wasn't pushing them, but they were having discussions." 13 men are charged in connection with the plot. If found guilty, the 6 facing the most serious federal charges could be sentenced to life behind bars. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.